What's up, everybody? Welcome to Best Massage Tech, where today I'm taking a look at the Bob and Brad foot massager. Now, I've been creating reviews of massage tech products for more than 3 years now between my website and my YouTube channel, but surprisingly, I've never taken a look at a foot massager on this YouTube channel before. And since I've recently been taking a look at different Bob and Brad massage products, I thought, what better brand to start with than the Bob and Brad foot massager? So today I will be taking a look at their K38S model, which is one of 2 foot massagers that they currently sell on Amazon. I'll start by taking a look at what comes with the device out of the box. I'll talk about some of the specifications and features of this device, and then at the very end I will provide some of my final thoughts after using the device. So to start, let's take a look at what comes with the device out of the box. So out of the box, it's not a big surprise that it doesn't really come with much other than the device, but the first thing you notice when you open the box is a little Ziploc bag that has 2 documents in it. One of them is just an informational card to register it for the warranty and provide a review on Amazon. The second is what they call a user manual, which is really just about 4.5 pages of warnings, disclaimers, and troubleshooting tips, and then about 2.5 pages of some specifications, and then just a little diagram of what everything does on the device. The next thing you see is a small box that has the charging cord in it. The charging cord is just a US outlet on it. It's not able to be changed. The other end of it is just a little power cord here. This plugs directly into the device. The cord itself here is about 74 inches long. So that is just the 2 things that come with it. It's not a battery powered device, so you do need to go ahead and plug the device in order for it to work. And then the main thing that you see in the box is the device itself, which looks like this. You see you've got 2 big openings for your feet here. They've got sort of a fabric lining in here. This fabric does zip out, so there's a zipper that runs along the outer edge of each of these, so you can unzip these and wash them very easily. The outside of it here is a matte sort of dark gray silver plastic. And then you sort of have this carbon fiber look to it, which almost feels like a leather material, a pleather or vinyl material. But I'll try to show the design there if I can a little bit. So that wraps around the entire device. You see you've got the Bob and Brad logo on the front of it here. On the back left side of it, you do have a small little cord. That's where your power cord plugs into. And then it does have a handle on it here, so it is easy to hold. The top side of it, you have all your controls, and then on the bottom side of it, it actually has a little stand that pops out here, just so you're able to adjust the angle on it, and that stand just clips back in. You've got some rubber feet on the bottom of it, so it doesn't sit directly on the ground. That helps with noise a little bit. On the bottom of this stand, you also have some little foam feet as well, so you do have that stand extended. Now, when it comes to the controls on it, it is not a LCD screen or anything like that. You've just got a couple different buttons. You've got the power button on the top, and then the 2 buttons on the bottom. One of them controls the heat, and one of them controls the air pressure for the compression. So this device does do a few different things. So it does kneading and shiatsu massage. It also has heat. It also has an air compression feature, so it'll squeeze down on your feet a little bit and help mimic some of those different massage things. So next I'll just talk a little bit about each of those individual features. So in terms of the kneading or the shiatsu function, there's 3 different settings that you can set it on. It's either low, medium, or high. So the low setting is just gonna cause all the rollers and balls to move forward. The medium setting is gonna have all of them move backwards. And then the high setting is gonna be a rotation of forward and backwards between those. Now what I say by that is there's 15 different massagers and little plastic roller balls inside that are on the bottom of your feet. So you've got a couple different things that are gonna rotate on different parts of your feet, and then near your toes there's a different sensation as well. And so if I'm feeling this, and I wish I could unzip this and show it, but you have what feels like almost 2 different rolling pins towards the heel and the center of the foot. And as you get towards your toes, you have a rolling pin that has a bunch of little plastic knobs on them. And from what I've counted on them, there's about 15 different knobs that are going to massage your feet in different patterns and really mimic that shiatsu or kneading motion. So those are going to move on different speeds depending on what setting you have it on. Now you can't actually adjust the speed, so even though it is low, medium, or high, it doesn't actually change the speed of anything. It only just changes the direction. So just know that low, medium, and high isn't actually adjusting the speed of anything. It's going to go at the same speed no matter what. It's just going to change really the direction of what that massaging and kneading motion actually goes. The next thing that this has is a heat function. So it does only have a low and a high heat function. The low end heat is gonna go from 104 degrees to 113, and then the high is gonna be 113 degrees all the way up to 122. Now I was able to feel this with my socks on. You can wear it both with socks on or socks off. However, most of the heat I could only feel was on the top of my foot, just up in this section here. And it wasn't really until I put it on the high section that I could really feel it. So this isn't anything that's gonna burn you. It's just a very gentle warmth. Again, I did try this a few times with socks on. It is a little bit warmer feeling if you have the socks off, but again, I only really feel it on the top part, and you definitely feel it a little bit more when you have that air compression on as well, because it pushes that heat pad down onto the top of your foot. And with that being said, let's talk a little bit about some of the air compression specifications on this. So it does come with 3 different settings for that as well. It is also a low, medium, and high setting. With the low, medium, high setting, you can't control the speed of how fast this fills. You can't control how long it fills or how long it holds for. But basically what the air compression is just a couple little airbags that are centered around your feet. So you're definitely gonna have one on the top, and then in the back side, sort of by your Achilles, the back of your ankle, there's some air pouches there as well. And very similar to some of the compression recovery boots that I've reviewed on my channel, it's a similar model where you're gonna have just a little bit of a bladder that's gonna fill with air and press down your foot. And as it presses down, it's just gonna help move fluid, help generate blood flow, help with lymphatic movement, things like that. And then combined with some of the massaging patterns on the bottom, you get some of that reflexology on the bottom of your feet. It's just a real nice feeling. And overall, the combination of all 3 of them at once is just a nice little massaging feeling. It's nice and relaxing. But that being said, none of these features are really overwhelming, and not any single one of them makes me say, wow, oh my God, that feels absolutely amazing. They're all just really, really gentle. And so I think that's probably one criticism that some people might have against this device, is that it isn't really aggressive in any one particular area. So it's definitely a device that's designed for someone that is maybe a little bit more sensitive to massage, or just really likes a real gentle motion on their feet and a real gentle compression, real gentle heat. So if you're looking for something that's gonna give you a real aggressive massage and almost mimic somebody squeezing really hard with their hands, you're not gonna get that with this, but it does have a lot of different features just between all those different, the rolling and the kneading, the heat and the compression. It does give a pretty comfortable feeling overall. In terms of some of the other specifications of this, so it does only come in this one color. In terms of the size that this will accommodate, if you have up to a size 12 men's foot, you will fit inside this. I have a 10.5. I have fit with plenty of room. I've read a lot of reviews of females that are size 7, size 8 that are able to get a good massage with this. So if you got big feet, this will fit up to a size 12. It does, again, only have this one cord, so it's not a battery-powered device. Again, the cord is about 74 inches long. You've got about another 7 inches here, so you got about 81 inches that you can get away from an outlet. So just find a comfortable chair and sit in it. Just stick your feet in. Once you have your feet in, you can kind of move them back and forth a little bit just to find the most comfortable position. Again, as you move closer to the toes on the front part here, you're gonna get a little bit of a different motion with just some nubs on the rotating cylinder inside there. So I recommend actually putting your feet in and then sliding them as far forward as possible. This device does have a 15-minute auto shut off, so at the 15-minute mark, it will just go ahead and turn off. You can go ahead and turn it back on again. However, in the instruction or the user manual, they do recommend that you don't use it for any more than 30 minutes, that it needs to actually cool down a little bit in between those sessions. So not recommended that you just continually use it, just let it cool down a little bit after you do have that 15-minute session. The one thing that I did really like about it is that when I had the air compression on the highest intensity, as it got to that 15-minute mark, it stops the massager and it just does a tight squeeze on your foot for the last 5 or 6 seconds, and it just kind of indicates the end of the massage. It does just give you a nice little squeeze there at the end, which is a nice little indication of the end and just feels good too. Now this device doesn't come with any sort of remote, so all the controls on it do have to be controlled with the top here. It doesn't have any sort of memory settings, so every time you turn the device on, you are gonna have to go ahead and select the individual routine that you want, the different settings there. Not a huge deal, but just something that some people might be wondering. In terms of the noise, it is a relatively quiet device. I'd say it's about what you would expect for a foot massager. It's not creating a lot of noise overall. It doesn't really generate any noise into the floor because it has these rubber feet. I have been using mine on a carpet, but again, it's not overly loud. You're gonna be able to have a conversation while you're using it. In terms of the size of this device, it does weigh about 14.5 pounds, and it's about 17 inches by 16 inches by 12 inches. So certainly not a small device, but Not something that you're going to necessarily be moving around a ton. It's not going to fit under your bed or anything like that, but again, it does have this handle, so it is pretty easy to lift. You can sort of lift it in a few different angles here, but I recommend just kind of setting it to the side of whatever chair you're going to be using it on, so you're not having to move this super far. So I will go ahead and switch my camera angle here and just show myself using the controls, pressing the different buttons, talking a little bit again about how it feels, and then I'll just show some different up-close shots so you guys get a feel of what the device actually looks like while it's in use. So once you're ready to use your massager, you can just go ahead and place your feet inside of it. Again, it is fabric lined. You can use it with socks or without socks. In order to turn the device on, you just press and hold the top button. Once it comes on, it's going to start on the lowest setting. So it's going to, again, have the rollers are going to be moving forward. So what I'm feeling is I'm feeling sort of in the middle of my foot and by the heel, and then up closer towards the balls of my toes. There's a different rotation of just some different cylinders that are sort of just rubbing and hitting different patterns on the bottom of my feet. And you can probably hear the pump a little bit there. It is compressing the air on the sides, on either side here, and on the top of my feet. I'm going to go ahead and increase it to the medium intensity setting. So the kneading there just switched directions. You can probably lightly see my feet moving up and down a little bit there. I'll zoom in. So you see my feet moving up and down a little bit there. Now, if I go ahead and turn on the heat setting to high and increase the air intensity to high, it'll take a couple seconds and then you'll hear the pump start to go. Now, what's interesting is when it increases the air compression in each of these, it only goes for about 2 or 3 seconds at a time, and then it stops. And it doesn't necessarily always inflate them all in the same pattern. So right now they're all slightly inflated. I've got the rollers going. I'm starting to feel the heat a little bit on the top of my feet. Again, you can slide your feet forward more in this if you want to get a different sensation. They're comfortable both ways, but I do feel that if you slide them forward a little bit more, you get more on your feet, but then you sacrifice the air cushion in the back a little bit. So I know it's a little difficult for this review for me to really describe what's happening, but again, the rollers are just going in different patterns, and I wish I could unzip it and show you guys what actually is in there, but it's just, again, it's 3 sets of rollers all in a line. The first 2 rollers have some different knobs on them, but they're not as close together as the ones up on my toes. And I'm going to just tip this down so you guys can hear the pump a little bit closer, but and the noise in general of it, it's not very loud at all. And there it goes deflating again, so it doesn't hold very long on the pump. So anyways, that's what that looks like. I'll show another angle here just so you guys can see the control panel as well. So that's just a quick overview of the Bob and Brad K38S foot massager. If you're interested in purchasing this, I will put a link in the description. It's just going to take you to Amazon. It is currently priced at $180. However, before you put this in your cart, make sure you click the little box. There's a coupon for $40 off, so it's actually only about $140. But just make sure you click that if you are going to go ahead and buy it. I want to make sure you guys save that extra money. In terms of some final thoughts after using this, some things that I really like about this are that it does have the kneading and compression and heat. I like that they have the ability to zip out the foot compartments in there, so if you are sweating in this or using it a lot, you are able to just easily wash that. It also helps maintain the longevity of it. I've seen some other devices where maybe they have a vinyl or sort of pleather interior and it starts to wear out really easily, and so just the fact that you're able to wash these is a nice little convenience to make sure it stays clean. I don't believe they have any sort of additional attachments that you can buy to zip out of those, so a little bit of a downside there, but I haven't had any issues with just being able to zip it out. There's some nice little Velcro there at the bottom so you can hold it down at the bottom. In terms of things that they can improve, I really think there's a lot more things on this side of it than the things that I like about it. I think the first thing is that I don't think it's strong enough in any one particular area. I really wish that the air compression was a lot stronger. I wish that it went up a little bit higher around your ankles and was more like a boot. This really, for me, just feels like it does only hit, for the most part, the bottom of my foot and then very gently the top side of my foot, mostly in the toe area. I do think the heat could be a lot warmer, and I wish that the heat was more encompassing. Again, I personally only feel it really on the front of my foot and the top of my foot. I think you are supposed to feel a little bit more on the ankle and the sort of the lower calf, but I didn't really get any of that sensation when I've been using it, so I think that's something that you could improve there. Again, when it comes to the intensity, really low, medium, high doesn't really change the intensity at all. It's just all the same intensity, it just changes directions. It doesn't allow you to adjust the speeds on it, so in terms of the massage, I wish you could slow it down and do a real gentle, slow massage. I wish you could also speed it up and go really fast in some areas to get more of a nice little vibrational and really get blood flow generated. In terms of the air compression as well, I wish you could adjust how fast it fills. I wish you could adjust how long it holds. For me, I wish it would just inflate and then hold the entire time that it's massaging, just because that, you know, nice compression around your foot just does feel really comfortable. And maybe it's that I've gotten a little bit spoiled looking at so many different compression boots, but I think a tool that would combine those two would be really, really cool. And then lastly, I do wish it was just more overall encompassing. So again, I mentioned that a little bit previously, but I wish it almost went more up, like up to your calf. It was just real tight, all-encompassing on your full foot there, and maybe had some massaging functions on the top of your foot as well, and not just that air compression. But overall, it's a decent device. Again, I don't have a lot to compare this against because I haven't reviewed any other foot massagers on this channel, so I didn't have super high expectations. It is impressive that it does have so many different features on it. Again, I just wish that those features were a little bit more intense. I wish you had the ability to customize the routine a little bit more. A remote would be something that'd be a little bit nice, but if you guys have specific questions about this massager, go ahead, drop it in the comments down below. I will do my best to provide answers to those. Otherwise, if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. I have new reviews for products like this all the time. Make sure if you're subscribed, you hit that bell so you get notifications when I upload new videos. But otherwise, that is the Bob and Brad K38S foot massager. That's a review. Enjoy your recovery.